All you beautiful people here, and I know a lot of people will be tuning into the replay. Let me just put the chat up because I love to see. Yeah, beautiful. All right, so guys, welcome to Soul Accelerated Sales. I've never done a workshop like this before. And my intention is to bring you so much value so you can step in to being the best sales queen you can be. Now, I will take time to introduce myself because I know some of you people on the live and on the replay are going to be new to my world. Some of you I've seen lots, and I see lots of familiar faces on the screen tonight. So, welcome to you all. So, a little bit about me. My name's Cherie Ann. I'm a mindset and energetics business coach, and I support women to rewire their limiting beliefs so they can step into making more sales, more income, more money. And what I've really learned for myself and from my clients and working in the online space for about 12 years now is that you can have the best skill set when it comes to sales, right? You know, the fundamentals of sales, the follow ups, handling objections, all that stuff. But if you're telling yourself things like, I'm not good at sales, sales is sleazy, then you will not get the results you desire. And this is why I absolutely love sharing these three pillars that I'm about to share. Now, as I said, I've been in the online space for 12 years now. I've done affiliate marketing, network marketing, my own coaching. Um, I've hit the top ranks. I've become a top income earner. I've done some amazing things. And what's really cool is I've gone from being a yacht chef, doing 18-hour days on yachts, to now working remote from anywhere in the world. So I just wanted to share that because I didn't start out with any sales background. I was a chef on yachts. I'd never sold anything before I got into the online space 12 years ago. But my results are freaking incredible. And it's because I've learned to master what I'm about to share with you all today. And I 100% credit my results to doing the mindset work, focusing on the energetics, and also mastering the sales skill set. So I'm super excited to be supporting you all. And I will make sure there's time for questions and everything like that. Feel free to interact in the chat. I love to see the chat. I love to see how you guys are all moving, the breakthroughs that are coming through. So feel free to be as active in the chat as you desire. Of course, if you like, if you've got any big breakthroughs that come through, I love to see your breakthroughs over on Instagram. Feel free to tag me, cherieann.co. I love to see the breakthroughs that come through from these workshops. Feel free to do that whether you're on the live or the replay. So, what I love about my work and a lot of stuff I'm going to share today is that I've seen women going from having absolutely no confidence in sales. They've been frozen in the fear of judgment and what the heck will people think about me if I try to sell to them, to then going to creating these freaking incredible results like signing 12 new business partners in 30 days, processing 27K worth of sales in 30 days, receiving 8K in 8 days. Things happen, like extreme, insane, crazy, unexplainable results happen when we master these three pillars I'm about to share. Now, of course, seeing people, my clients, myself, make money, make all this income, it's great. But what I freaking love and what I absolutely froth over is seeing these women step into unshakable confidence. They're owning their passion, they're owning their purpose, and they're showing up as the truest version of themselves. So, you know, as much as I shared, yes, I've had a lot of success in the online space, 300K in sales in 12 weeks, 98Ks sold in 30 days, top income earner, all that jazz. But 5 years ago, which was about 7 years into my sales process, I went through a period, it was actually 12 weeks, funnily enough, of not closing anything. You know, now this was a new period for me. I went from selling 10K packages to then selling packages that were worth anywhere from 18,000 to 80,000. Now, that's a bit of a clue, right? Because when I started selling those different products for a higher price point, I started telling myself different things. I had the sales skill set mastered. I knew how to handle objections. I knew how to close. I knew how to pre-qualify. But when I started selling a higher priced product, I started bombing my sales calls. I stopped selling for 12 weeks. I did not sell a freaking thing. And when I realized what I was actually doing, which is one of the most expensive things we can do as a salesperson, I was pre-assuming a lot of things. And I'm going to dive into this a lot in the last tool, but pre-assuming is one of the most expensive things we can do as a salesperson. And if you're hearing the word salesperson and you're like, oh God, that's not me, or if it's giving you the ick, lean into that because you are a salesperson. We are all salespeople on this call, right? On the live and on the replay. And the sooner we can tap into that, accept it, and embody your results are going to skyrocket. So when I realized I was doing this one thing right, alongside I'd already rewired a lot of beliefs, I had already nailed the skill set. I spent years and years learning it. When I did this one thing and I stopped pre-assuming, that's when I closed 300K worth of products and sales in just 12 weeks. That's my highest sales volume to date in such a short period. So I guarantee these three pillars I'm going to share with you all tonight on the live and the replay are going to have you making even more sales. So drop me a hell yes if you can get excited about making more sales, more income, more impact, right? That's what we're here for. I'm going to pre-assume you registered for this workshop to learn how to make more sales. Otherwise, you're probably in the wrong space. So I'm going to pre-assume you're all here for that. And yes, I see a lot of yeses, a lot of hell yeses. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So what to expect? The next 40-ish minutes, I'll be sharing my keys to the three pillars. We'll be going skill set, rewiring beliefs, energetics. Everything that has had me and my clients creating insane selling results. Now, there's going to be times I'm going to be asking you guys questions and I'm really going to be inviting you to share what your beliefs are around sales. And I invite you to show up in the chat with self-honesty, openness, vulnerability, because the more self-honest you can be, the deeper we can go, right? And we're not seeing these beliefs from a place of judgment or, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm thinking that. It's compassion and curiosity for that version of you that's created those beliefs. So let's dive in. I can see we're all ready. Let's go, right? So the first pillar is the skill set. Now, this really is the fundamental of sales, but it is not everything. And this is where I see a lot of leaders get stuck. They just focus on the skill set and they don't even look into the energetics, the mindset. And this is why they're not making the money they desire or selling the amount of volume they want to be selling each month. So there's a lot of things that we get to look at when it comes to skill set. Now, number one is marketing, and that's content, right? And when we're creating content, we want to know who our ideal client is, what they want, what their pain points are, what their desires are, and how to serve them. So we want to be speaking to our ideal client through our content. It's really the first step of sales, having that good content, being seen as an expert in your field. And I speak to a lot of women working in the online space, and maybe some have just started or they've been in there for a year and they're like, Sheree, but I'm not an expert. And I invite you to look at that anyone you're attracting into your program, your business, whatever it is, you're already 10 steps ahead of them. So in your prospect, your ideal client's eyes, you are an expert in your field, right? So that's the first one. The second one is one that has made me a lot of money, and that is conversations. I hear a lot of leaders speaking to this, and it's so true. The more conversations you're having, the more money you make, right? And when it comes to conversations, there's a few different skill sets within conversations. It's knowing how to start them, knowing how to lead them, knowing how to handle objections in the conversations, and yeah, just really knowing how to stand in your posture, your authority, and your conviction when it comes to conversations, especially if you're going to be starting them. Now, conversations is actually how, when I first launched my coaching about 14 months ago, when I started to focus on the mindset and the energetics, I purely sold 19.5K worth of coaching products in 30 days with conversations, right? I would start them, I'd be doing warm conversations, people would be reaching out to me. I swear, conversations is king. And this is something, obviously we only have a short amount of time on this workshop. This is something I go really deep in with my one-on-one clients and in my group coaching program. But I just wanted to share a bit about conversations because I swear, like the more conversations you have, the more money you're making. Now, another really, and I'm just curious, like pop in the chat, like how confident do you feel around conversations? Like, is this something you love doing? Is this something that gives you anxiety? Do you feel powerful in conversations? I mean, I actually had a client, a one-on-one client, she hated conversations, especially starting them. It gave her anxiety, and she wasn't booking any sales calls. Then, once we did a lot of rewiring around the beliefs and getting her clear on the skill set, she actually ended up loving She loves conversations now. She booked 4 sales calls in a week, which is like the most sales calls she had ever booked in a year. So, conversations is king. And yeah, let me just have a look. Need to have more. Okay. Don't feel confident. Have conversations, but this is new. Yep. Perfect. Love connecting. Feel like I'm better at them, but not confident in the art of closing. And that's a part I'm going to dive into soon because there's a few parts where the sale can get really lost. So after conversations, it's all about pre-qualifying, right? And that happens in conversations. We want to know why our ideal client wants what we have, because we want to bridge the gap of where they are, where they want to be, and the bridge is our product, our service, right? So by pre-qualifying, we get to do that because it's very hard to sell to someone where you don't actually know what they need, right? You can't be offering like a weight loss product randomly out of the blue to someone that does not want it. You've got to know your ideal clients' needs and wants when you're in the pre-qualifying stage, which is part of the conversations. Now, another one, I've got quite a few bits under the sales skill set because I wanted to really give as much value as possible in this short call. Another one is the sales call itself. You want to have a really deep, potent framework that's proven to work. So, building rapport, doing the discovery process, telling stories, closing the sale, handling objections. That's all part of the sales call. And it's really good to have like a script at the beginning because, I mean, even me, right? I had a script at the beginning. Sometimes I still use it, sometimes I don't. Because the script, when you're using a proven script, right? Not just one willy-nilly. We need something that's actually been working for people. I mean, my sales script has closed 300K. It's closed 27K for people. It's closed 8K for clients. It definitely works. The key is having a really dialed in sales script. And the more you do it, like whether practicing with people before you even do live sales calls, the more it just flows. Like me, I can be practicing sales calls with my clients and I don't need a script. It just rolls off the tongue because I've become obsessed with practicing my sales call script. Now, handling objections is another one. This is where I see the sale lost so many times because people don't know how to handle objections. They get, oh, that's not for me. And the salesperson goes, oh, okay, no worries. I'm just curious, and how many of you are open to sharing? How many times have you received, oh, that's not for me, and you've just let the person off the hook? And I know I have in the past. right? I 100% in the past, before I learned how to handle objections, I used to just let people off when they said it wasn't for me. Objections are just an opportunity to ask more questions. An objection just means that something hasn't been answered. So when you've got posture and confidence, you know how to lead your potential ideal client forward, right? And I'm just curious, like, if you're open to sharing in the comments too, like, what are your most common objections? What are you getting? Is it money? Is it not for them? What is it? What are your most common objections? Money. Yep, perfect. And this is, hubby doesn't agree. Yes, perfect. Love that. I've heard that. Network marketing isn't for me. Money. This business isn't for me. Money. Perfect. So a lot of this isn't for me. The money, the partner, not right now. That's another good one. Yes. Okay, perfect. So, what I know to be true after being like a top salesperson, right, in the industry, is that it's not money. Money is not the reason people do not buy. It's because they don't see the value in the product or the service. They don't understand how your product or service is going to work for them. And they don't actually understand how your product or service works in general. And I promise you, when you start, I actually put these three questions that already cover this into my sales script that I share with my clients. And when they ask those certain three questions, they don't get the objections. It's wild. So just remember, people don't buy, it's never really the money. Sometimes it can be if people have absolute, if you do a financial analysis, yes, but it's 95% of the time, it's not the money. I mean, think about case in point. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I remember a few years ago when Taylor Swift was doing her concert worldwide, right? People were complaining about not being able to pay their mortgage. They weren't able to make ends meet. Then all of a sudden, those same people have found $1,000, $2,000 to get a VIP ticket to Taylor Swift's concert. People will find money for what they find value in. So this is what you want to be doing in your sales calls and in your pre-qualifying, making sure that your ideal client sees the value in what they're selling. They see how it can help them. That's key. You'll stop getting a lot of objections when you start, asking those kind of questions and bridging the gaps for your ideal client. Now, actually closing the sale. Now, this is also part of the sales call itself, right? And this is where I see a lot of women, alongside handling objections, lose the sale. They fumble when they start to say the price. They say too much after saying the price. There's a lot to be said in what we call in the high ticket space, the pause. You say the price. Like, I confidently now say, okay, you can pay, it's normally $100,000, but today I can offer it to you for 80,000. And I shut my mouth. Because if I start interrupting or I start going, but okay, don't worry, there's payment plans, I'm interrupting my ideal client's thought pattern, right? The amount of times when I started to learn how to stop, then I started to get the like, okay, perfect. How can we pay for that? Right? There's a lot to be said for the pause after you give them the price. I promise you, when you start doing this, it's going to have your conversion rate up like so much, right? And I'm just curious, like, who here already is doing the pause? Who says the price and just then says absolutely nothing? Because that's where the paycheck comes from. I swear, the paycheck is in the pause after you say the amount. And you just sit back. It's so good. This changed the way I started closing sales also. And as I said, like, this is where see sales getting lost when it comes to the strategy and skill set. It's in the closing of the sale and it's in the handling of objections. So that's a little bit around the skill set. As I said, like in my one-on-one and my group coaching programs, I go so deep into this, but we only have so much time. And I wanted to give you the top stuff, the top tools. Now, my second pillar is rewiring limiting beliefs. and getting clear on what they actually are. Because this is actually where I've seen the most magic happen alongside nailing the skill set. I've seen women step into unshakable confidence, close sales, have conversations, start cold messaging from rewiring beliefs. Because in order to fully embody like the skill set you've learned around sales, your beliefs need to be in alignment with that too, right? So if you're telling yourself things like sales are sleazy, no one wants to buy from me, my product's too expensive, um, people can't afford it, I'm not good at sales, your subconscious that's telling you that is responsible for your lack of results, whether positive or your positive results. So we want our beliefs to be good, right? We want our beliefs to be like sales is easy, sales is fun, salespeople are incredible, everyone loves to purchase from me. Now, because we will actually subconsciously move away from pain towards pleasure. So if we're telling ourselves things like sales is sleazy, sales is hard, we won't sell because that creates pain for us, right? And when this lands, your life changes, your results change, right? So, and I know this to be true because I've seen it in myself, I've seen it in my clients. So, there's many ways to rewire our subconscious limiting beliefs, but there's only one way that actually works. I don't know about you ladies, but how many people on here have tried affirmation after affirmation or mindset course after mindset course, but then once again, 2 weeks later, the same shitty limiting beliefs come up. I used to dance around saying, sales is easy, sales is fun. I'm a great salesperson till I was blue in the face, but I still didn't make sales. When I learned that the key was getting to the root cause and rewiring those limiting beliefs with timeline therapy, my life changed. And that's what I love to do. That's what my modalities are, right? Is neuro timeline transformational therapy and quantum healing. Now, what makes timeline therapy so different is that one, we're getting to the root cause. Now, what's really wild is that the root cause can be past life, past generation, in the womb, or this lifetime. And the only way to get clear on the root cause is to have someone else ask you the questions because we ourselves can't activate our subconscious. I mean, I wish I could. If I could be rewiring my own beliefs, limiting beliefs, easy peasy, right? But we need to do it with someone that's a practitioner. And how we do this is so we get to the root cause, we get the positive, which is the event, the first event that had us bring on this belief. So I'll use my example, right? When I did timeline therapy and I was having sessions with a coach, it must have been about 10 years ago now. I realized I had the belief that salespeople are sleazy, salespeople are annoying. And when my coach brought up the root cause, it was actually from when I was 8 years old at home, and we had, a lot of telephone callers, cold callers calling around dinner. So some guy had called our house while we were having dinner, and my mum answered it. Then she hung up and she's like, "Oh God, not another bloody salesperson." That was the root cause. I carried that for like 30 years and it stopped me from selling to my maximum ability. When I got rid of that, that's when I became a top income earner. That's when I started really, really accelerating in the sales space. So, how I rewired them was getting back to the root cause. I got the positive lessons from that event. And when we get the positive lessons from that event, that rewires neurological pathways that create instant and rapid change. And then of course, we do some checks to make sure it's gone. Now, this is why I said, like affirmations, we don't get to the root cause. It's a sugar high. Rewiring beliefs, that's where the true transformation happens. And it's just so freaking interesting to see where these events took place, and especially when they could be in the womb from past generation, past life, or even this lifetime, right? So when we do belief rewiring, we take back our power, we take back our confidence, that means the skill set we've mastered is actually going to work. That's when we start accelerating our results. And that's when, like my clients, they master the skill set. But when I rewire their beliefs with them, the limiting beliefs, especially around sales, that's when they get the 27K months, the 7K weeks, the 8K in 8 days, all that sort of stuff, right? And that's when you start to have complete posture on your sales calls. In the follow ups, you handle objections with ease. So, rewiring beliefs, getting clear on what they are is key. And I'd love for you guys to share, if you're open to sharing, like, what are your limiting beliefs around sales? If you were to know, what do you think about salespeople in general? What are the negative limiting beliefs that you're saying to yourself in the back of your mind? Because we all have them, right? Sales is sleazy, sales is hard, people can't afford what I'm buying, I'm not good at sales, like it's too hard, they're scammers, yep, hustlers, pain in the ass, yes, sales is manipulative, yes, that's a big one. I've seen that for a lot of leaders in the space, a lot of leaders in the space. And thank you so much for sharing, ladies. This is beautiful. Money breaks down relationships, salespeople can't be trusted, yes. I don't want to be salesy. Yes, absolutely. I love all this. Thank you so much for sharing. People in sales are manipulative, no trust, always think we're after something else and their money. Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful, beautiful sharing, ladies. Beautiful sharing. And, this is, as I said, this is a gift to see. It doesn't mean anything bad about us. Means it's just a belief that's been created from an experience you've had in the past, whether it's this lifetime, past generation, past life in the womb. Like it's so interesting. Okay, beautiful. So, last but not least, we are going to move into the energetics. Now, this is the secret sauce, right? This is what had me doing 300K in 12 weeks, like a complete turnaround. No sales for 12 weeks, absolutely bombing it, wondering what had gone on, to 300K in sales in 12 weeks. Now, before I learnt this pillar, I had already mastered the sales skill set. I had already rewired all my limiting beliefs around sales. But I realized that the energetics I had not mastered yet. Now, and this was the key. So I realized, because I love to plan, do, and review, right? After I've been doing sales calls, I love to see, okay, what did I do good? What could I improve? You know, what was good, what was bad, right? So then I can see what I can do better next time. After 12 weeks of closing absolutely nothing. And this is after I'd become a top income earner, had incredible success. I was like, okay, what is happening? This is not, I do not tolerate this. I realized that since I had started selling more 18K to $80,000 products, I started to pre-assume. And as I said, pre-assuming is one of the most expensive things we can do as a salesperson. I was telling myself, no one's going to be able to afford an 80K package. There's no way in hell I'm going to be able to sell this. Like, they can't afford it. This is too expensive. This will not be for them. They will not be interested in this. And I'm just curious how many times, whether you're going into sales calls or into sales conversations, how many times have you pre-assumed that this won't be for them, that they can't afford it? They won't be able to afford this. This will be too expensive. No one has any money right now. That's a huge one I see with leaders in the online space. So, what I stopped doing is I stopped pre-assuming. It was so freaking simple, but it brought me the most cash received I've ever received in my life, in my sales career. I stopped pre-assuming. I got my energetics right before I ever opened a sales conversation or I ever jumped on a sales call. Now, what that looked like is I had the skill set nailed, I had my beliefs rewired. I also went onto the sales call telling myself the sale was done. That had me selling 300K in 12 weeks. That had me selling $98,000 worth of products in 30 days, which was a completely different sales period. So, what that looks like is, getting yourself into a high vibration, telling yourself the sale is done. People want what I have, rewiring those beliefs, anchoring them in, having things you need ready before your sales call. So whether it's your Stripe link, whether it's the paperwork ready, whether it's your platform link, like whatever it is, you have the link ready because you are pre-assuming that they are going to purchase from you. They want what you have, right? They need what you have. It's one of the best, easiest skills that has made me the most money. And I've never seen anyone speak to this in all my time of training with the best of the best around sales, mastering my skill set. I'm always learning and upgrading my sales skill set and my energetics and my mindset. But I've never heard anyone talk to the energetics, the pre-assuming that the sale is done. So I just invite you, ladies, like on the live and on the replay, to start pre-assuming that everyone wants what you have. Pre-assume that the sale is done. Stop telling yourself that people can't afford what you have, that they won't have the money, this won't be for them. Because I promise you, when you start pre-assuming they are going to purchase from you, that's going to make you a lot of money, especially when you nail your beliefs and the skill set. So this is just wild. And I'm just curious who already believes. So let me just check the comments, sorry. I still remembered mum telling us to hide in the bathtub as a kid when the salesperson came to the door. I love that. I love that. So many beliefs. Yes, often. Yes, so cool. People in sales are manipulative. Yeah, beautiful. So we can see, right? There's three main things that you get to do in order to up level your sales and your income. Mastering the skill set, getting clear on what your limiting beliefs are and rewiring them with deep work, not fluff, what are we calling them? Affirmations. And then actually getting your energetics right before you open a sales call, before you hop on a sales call, and before you even open your messenger. So perfect. Katrina, I literally just went and copied my checkout link to my messages so it's easy to find and ready to go. Yes, yes, yes. I love that. I love that. So that is the three pillars. I trust you ladies and everyone on the live and everyone on the replay has gotten so much value from this, and you've gotten tools that you can already start implementing into your sales calls, into your conversations, into your content now. And I just want to open it up. Does anyone have any questions around sales, around the skill set, around the mindset, around the energetics? Feel free to type them into the comments and I'll get through. But otherwise, I trust everyone is fine. And I just want to yeah, beautiful. All right, perfect. So I'm assuming everyone's going to be good. All right, beautiful. So I want to put out one last offer. Now, let me just do the recording. Beautiful. So if anything in this call, in this workshop, has activated you and you're like, heck yes, I want to get some results. I want to work on my mindset. I want to work on my skill set. I want to really get that dialed in so you can start making more sales. If anything on this call has activated you and you want results like 12 new clients in 30 days, 7,000 euros, the results are insane. I don't really need to bang on about them. They speak for themselves. If anything in this masterclass has activated you, I'd love to offer everyone on the live and the replay a free quantum call. Now, what we'll do in this 40-minute call is I will support you in getting clear on where you're actually at with your sales process. What's stopping you from already making the sales you desire? Is it beliefs? Is it skill set? Is it your energetics? Is it something else? I mean, I've been in this space long enough to really be able to bring this out quite quickly. Now, If I feel after getting clear on what's happening behind the scenes, the beliefs, the skill set, the energetics, the frequency, if I feel like you're a fit for either my group or my one-on-one coaching program, we will dive into what that looks like if it's supportive to you. But if it's not, I mean, the most you're going to get or the least you're going to get is clarity on where you're at now and what your next steps get to be in order to hit your next rank, to hit your next sales target. So I invite you guys, you can use the Zoom link. Oh, sorry. One of my team members will drop the Zoom link in the chat. You can use this QR code here to book in your free call. I know a lot of people in the past that have had them have found them absolutely transformational. And it's just a gift that I love to give women in this online space because I've been that leader that hasn't been making the sales, that hasn't been making the income, that hasn't had the posture or the confidence. And these tools that I've shared, when I got even deeper into them, they changed my income, they changed my life, right? I would still be working 18-hour days on a yacht if I hadn't dialed in on this skill set. So to be able to pass this on is not something that I take for granted. So I'll leave it with that. Um, I've done some, yeah, yeah, exactly. Jess has done one of my free quantum calls and she had someone sign up for her teen girls mentoring program. I also know, and I think Christy's on here, another woman that I've done one of these quantum calls with. She didn't even come into my program. I gave her some steps. She had a 4.9K day in rank advance. Like magic happens on these calls. So feel free to use the link. If you're on the live, if you're on the replay, you can use that QR code. But ladies, thank you so much for spending your time with me this evening. I trust you got so much value. And of course, if you've ever got any questions around sales, energetics, mindset, don't hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook. My my goal is to help as women and many as women as possible step into their income and rank goals and make the impact they desire. So sending you all so much love from Bali. You'll all have the replay to this so you can keep, you know, I know it's a lot of information in a compressed amount of time, but I know you can all handle it. And I look forward to seeing you all on Facebook, on Instagram, and some of you even in person here in Bali. So, sending you all so, so much love. Thank you so much. Receiving all the love in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have the most beautiful evening, and I will see you all very soon. Ciao for now. Bye, guys. Bye.